Hey, what's up, good people? It's Larry Jones. How you doing? Welcome to Stock Up. Do me a favor right quick. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. I'm going to show you guys a video that I want you to see. A lot of you have seen it, but I want you to really look at this video for those of you that haven't seen it. It's an older video, but a few things have changed, but most of it is still true. And for those of you that are in the AMC, GME movement, hey, I'm going to tell you guys that we need you guys to stay positive, and we need you to learn what's going on in the market. And we need you guys in the market. It is a good thing that you're investing right now. Some of you guys are up. A lot of you guys are down. I took a big hit too. But remember, we were only investing what we can afford to lose, and it is not over. As a matter of fact, the retail investor is actually still winning as low as the stock have come down. There's a report. I'm not even going to pull the report up that said it was a big pump and dump scheme. That's not true. In this report, it also says that shorting a stock cannot bankrupt a company. That's not true. Because if they would have short that stock and many other stock, if a company is already struggling, like my earlier video that I made about a month ago, remember you guys, I made that one about 38,000 jobs. And in this hit report, they were probably talking about me. I don't care. They said these YouTubers. Yeah, we tell the truth. This is $38,000, 38,000 jobs that you are potentially causing people, because when a company's stock is doing well, they're raising capital so they could pay off debt and make the company more physically sound. Okay. And so those are just the facts. These hit reports, these short reports, they're put out by the hitman is what I call it. These institutions and these hedge funds, the hedgies. And that's some of these hedge funds. So there's an old video of Jim Cramer, talking about, when he worked at the hedge fund, how he used to manipulate the market. Now, I'm going to say this before you watch this video, that this was a long time ago, right? Actually, Jim Cramer's a very smart man, and I've learned a lot from Mr. Cramer. So I want you to listen to this video, and I want you to understand that he's helping you by telling you what they used to do as far as a practice when they want to drive a stock price down or they wanted to manipulate the market. But I need you to listen to each and every word so you could hear it for yourself. Take it for what it's worth.
Thanks for being here. There's a lot of economic data out today, but I want to talk about something else first. Again, today we have the misdirection from the futures. The futures pointing to an up market, and as of right now, stocks are down again. Is this just because it's the holiday period that we're seeing this?
A lot of times when I was short at my hedge fund and I was positioned short, meaning I needed it down, I would create a level of activity beforehand that could drive the futures. It doesn't take much money. Similarly, if I were long and I would want to make things a little bit rosy, I would go in and take a bunch of stocks and make sure that they're higher, and maybe commit $5 million in capital to do it, and I could affect it. What you're seeing now is it probably is bigger market. Now, maybe you need $10 million in capital to knock this stuff down, but it's a fun game. And it's a lucrative game, and you can move it up and then fade it. That's often creates a very negative feel. So let's say you take a longer term view intraday, and you say, listen, I'm going to boost the futures, and then when the real sellers come in, real market comes in, they're going to knock it down. That's going to create a negative view. That's a strategy very worth doing when you're valued on a day-to-day basis. And I would encourage anyone who's in the hedge fund game to do it, because it's legal,
right?
And it is a very quick way to make money and very satisfying.
Okay.
So by the way, no one else in the world would ever admit that, but I can care.
That's right. And you can say that here.
I can't. I'm not going to say it on TV.
Well, on a related note, there's so many more hedge funds today than when you were
Right.
managing your hedge fund.
Right.
Do you think that does that exacerbate the moves, or does it make it tougher?
Well, you know,
'Cause there's-
the hedge funds are positioned long short, okay, not just long like mutual funds. So it's really vital these next 6 days because of your payday. You've really got to control the market. You can't let it lift. When you get a research in motion, it's really important to use a lot of your firepower to knock that down because it's the fulcrum of the market today. So I mean, let's say I were short. What I would do is I would hit a lot of guys with RIM. Now you can't foment. That's a violation of
Ferment?
Yeah, you can't foment. You can't create yourself an impression that a stock's down. But you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't
Right.
understand it. So that's the only sense that I would say this is illegal. But a hedge fund that's not up a lot really has to do a lot now to save itself. So this is different from what I was talking about at the beginning where I would be buying the Qs and stuff.
Right.
This is actually just blatantly illegal. But when you have 6 days and your company may be in doubt because you're down, I think it's really important to foment. If I were one of these guys, foment an impression that research in motion isn't any good because research in motion is the key today. So, you know, you would hit this guy and that guy when you would see an offering. When you see a guy who's bidding, you'd wipe out that guy very quickly. And what I used to do was called, if I wanted to go higher, I would take and bid. And if I wanted to go lower, I'd hit an offer. And I could get a stock like RIM for maybe, that might cost me 15, 20 million. Annie, to knock RIM down. But it would be fabulous because it would beleaguer all the moron longs who are also keying on research in motion. So
There's a lot of
we're
that going
seeing,
on today with
yeah,
RIM,
we're seeing that.
absolutely.
That's, you know, again, when your company's in a survival mode, it's really important to defeat research in motion and get the Pisanis of the world and the people talking about it as if there's something wrong with RIM. Then you would call the journal and you get the bozo reporter on research in motion and you would feed that there's a Palm's got a killer it's going to give away. These are all the things you must do on a day like today. And if you're not doing it, maybe you shouldn't be in the game.
Another stock that a lot of people are focused on right now seems to be Apple.
Yeah, Apple's very important to spread the rumor that that both Verizon and AT&T have decided they don't like the phone.
Right.
That's a very easy one to do because it's also you want to spread the rumor that it's not going to be ready for Macworld. And this is very easy because the people who write about Apple want that story. And you can claim that it's credible because you spoke to someone at Apple because Apple doesn't.
Right, they're not
issue
going
a
to comment. They're not going to
Right,
say.
so it's really an ideal short. And I would, again, if I were short Apple, I would be working very hard today to get that. And the way you would do that is you pick up the phone and you call 6 Trading Desk and you say, listen, I just got off the phone with my contact at Verizon. And he has already said, listen, we're a Lucky G house. We're a Samsung house. We're a Motorola house. There's no room for Apple. They want too much. We're not going to let them in. We're not going to let them do what they did to music. And, you know, I think that's a very effective way to keep a stock down.
Right.
I might also, by the way, because the stock at 84, 85, a little bit of capital, you go buy some January 80 puts that makes it look like there's going to be something going on. So maybe you give Morgan an order to buy 1,000 Jan 80 puts. Then you go position limit with, you use a hat firm that doesn't know what the heck it's doing. Maybe you go to UBS for puts. And you just kind of create an image that there's going to be news next week, and that's going to frighten everybody.
Right.
Then they all go out and say large put buyer UBS. Then they call Pisani again. You have to use those guys and say, listen, I see a big buyer of puts, and I'm told that it's SAC. You would do that too. And these are all what's really going on under the market that you don't see.
Right, nobody else talks about it.
Right,
Except
but
you.
what's important when you're in that hedge fund mode is to not do anything remotely truthful. Because the truth is so against your view
Right.
that it's important to create a new truth to develop a fiction. And the fiction is developed by almost anybody who's down like 2% to up 6% here. You can't take any chances. You can't have the market up any more than it is if you're up 6. Because starting Jan 2, you'll have all your money come out. So
Right.
what would you do if you're in that situation and you feel like you're desperate? Is that you would do these actions?
So you're talking about the mechanics of the market.
Well,
You know,
mechanics are much more important than the fundamentals.
okay, well, but in terms of the fundamentals, you've been writing about how you
Who cares
think.
about the fundamentals? Research in motion just blew out the court.
Right.
But look what people can do. I mean, that's a fabulous thing. The great thing about the market is it has nothing to do with the actual stocks.
Right.
Now, look, over maybe 2 weeks from now, the buyers will come to their senses and realize that everything that they heard was a lie. But then again, Fannie Mae lied about their earnings for $6 billion. So,
Right, and
there's
Bristol Myers lied,
it's just fiction
yeah.
and fiction and fiction. And I think it's important for people to recognize that the way that the market really works is to have that nexus of hit the brokerage houses with a series of orders that can push it down, then leak it to the press, and then get it on CNBC. That's also very important. And then you have a kind of a vicious cycle down.
Right.
And it's a pretty good game. And it can be played. You can pay for a percent or two.
Right, and then do you get long before Macworld and the expectation that the
Well, yeah, because
iPhone
you
is going
drove
to
it
be
down.
good? Right, and then you go back
You
flip to the
certainly
long
got to
side.
use the other side.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's a case where I would say the January 80 puts can be justified because after I've knocked the stock down to 80, I can buy a lot of common. And then you play it right into Macworld where they'll probably introduce the phone and Verizon's going to take it.
Okay. Well, maybe the fundamentals don't matter, but let's talk about the Fed.
Remember, what Wall Street Confidential is not giving you the party line. Oh, here's the party line, by the way. I spoke to Apple. The phone. I hear the phones are good, and Verizon might take it. And as a matter of fact, the research motion sellers, I don't think they know what they're talking about.
But you've been writing about the cell phone market. You think you don't want to be involved in that.
The problem with the cell phone market, frankly, is that these guys are all killing each other. Someone has to take a dive. Motorola and Nokia have to get in a room and just fix price. They've been reluctant to do that because of the various justice departments and because they
it's illegal, right? Yeah.
Well, that hasn't stopped a lot of other companies.
This is true.
This seems to be a case where they seem to be directly worried about the authorities. It's almost as if they have a lawyer that matters, unlike, say, the Bristol Myers lawyers. And, what eventually happens is the shareholders demand that you get phony lawyers and you sit in the room. And it'll happen soon.
Real quick, the Fed, the numbers out today weaker than expected.
Oh, so what? The Fed has obviously got a cut. But, again, you call the various guys who cover the bonds and you say, ignore the bond action.
He was just letting you guys know what were the practices of hedge funds, period. And so don't get mad at him. Get mad at the system. And so that's why we need you guys, because this battle is not over. AMC and GME is not over. And it just doesn't stop there. So we need you guys to learn how to trade. For those of you that don't know how to trade, a lot of apes are very smart, intelligent traders. A lot of you guys are way better traders than I am. But I'm just saying to what we call baby apes, new apes, learn the market, right? And I suggest that you get more than one trading platform. There's a lot of them out there. I suggest that you learn the terminology, learn what's going on, so you don't have to be dealing with this FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, like this hit report. And so if you could pull this video up, you need to share this video. It needs to be over the internet so people can understand. Now, we don't want people going after Jim Cramer. That's not what this is about. He actually threw you guys a bone, but he didn't know he was doing it. He was doing it. It's like going back in time. So he was throwing you a bone from the future. All right. And so he was just letting you guys know what's going on. As a matter of fact, lately, he's actually been for the apes. Right. And so I just wanted to specify that. But you need to listen to what he said, just as clear as day. You got it from the horse's mouth. He's talking about from the position of the hedge funds. OK, good people. I got to talk about Webull. I'm part of their influencer program. The link is below. For those of you that only have one or two trading platforms, consider using it also. You can deposit just $5 now, and they're going to give you $2,300 up to $2,300. The minimum you can get is $11. So you deposit $5 and you get $11 or $12. So it's a no-lose situation, okay? But that ends on the 20th. So if you're going to download the link, if you download my link, it does help the page. Remember, I keep saying, hashtag dumb money woke. We will win. All right, good people. We'll see you later.